Hello, everybody. It's your boy BigIrrelevant, and today we're going on our fourth episode of this NBA Contenders series. And this episode is focused on the Cleveland Cavaliers. If you haven't seen the first three videos of the series, I recommend you watch them. And if you haven't, I will explain. The premise of this series is to see in the next 3 years what path a team must make to either be in the running to be a contender, to be a contender, or to stay a contender. And this episode, we're going to the Cleveland Cavaliers, so we need to explain how they stay a contender. They have the easiest premise to explain it all. And basically, when it comes to the Cavaliers, all you have to say is, just don't fuck it up. Because they have the lineup that should be able to do it. Kyrie, LeBron, and Kevin Love. And if they break that lineup up, I'm afraid that could really destroy this team. So you keep those three. This Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Love trade talk needs to stop because it's not going to happen and it wouldn't make any sense. So you keep those three. But why is that even a question right now? The reason why is because LeBron is complaining about a playmaker. I understand his complaints. He's playing too many minutes. He's playing the most minutes in the NBA right now, which is ridiculous for a 32-year-old who makes it to the final 7 straight years. 6, I apologize. He needs to be playing less minutes. They need another guy who off the bench can handle the ball. Right now, it's Kay Felder who doesn't get really any minutes. So that position doesn't make any sense. And when I see these complaints talking about it, I think people forget to realize that they lost their backup point guard, Matthew Dellavedova, to the Milwaukee Bucks. And that's why it's a problem for them. They don't have another ball handler. Kyrie, LeBron, and Love are getting tired. Love is getting hurt. So they're losing games. They're exhausted. They need another playmaker to come into the game so they don't have to play as much. The nice thing is, I'm pretty sure we found an easy fit. If you haven't seen my last video, I talked about the Chicago Bulls. And one of their best solutions is to just cut Rondo. Trade or cut him. And while Rondo might be a little bit of a cancerous situation to a lot of teams, I really don't believe that would happen playing alongside LeBron. Rajon Rondo fitting into that backup point guard spot doesn't seem like a problem for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think he's okay if he's competing for a championship and playing with LeBron James. He's a great guy to bring off the bench as a ball handler. He loves to have the ball in his hand. So that is another thing that they really just have to do. They have to keep adding role players. 3 years down the line, they're likely to be at the end of their run. LeBron James will be 35. Kyrie will be 27. So he'll be entering his prime years, which he seems to already be in. But Kyrie's going to be a stud. And Kevin Love will be 31. Kevin Love's injury-prone history seems like I don't know if he'll last that long. If he'll break down before then, he might. But you still got to commit to him. But at the end of this run, the big thing is they just need to keep interchanging role players. Right now, J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert work perfect at the 2 guard. If they can possibly get another player, maybe Dwayne Wade, as I have also said in my last video, where I think that he could end up in LA or New York. You never know if he takes a pay cut to go play in Cleveland, which he might. He just got his money. He might go play in Cleveland. That might be a great fit there. But they just need to keep interchanging role players. They did this already with Kyle Korver and Channing Frye, just going and picking up guys that would fit into their team. Korver working pretty well right now, still not fully adjusted into his new role. And Channing Frye is definitely adjusted in his role. He is phenomenal in this system coming off the bench for Kevin Love. But then they also have been getting guys that they just kind of found out of nowhere. Jordan McRae, DeAndre Liggins, who work perfectly into this system where they can just put them in and they will play the exact way they need them to. They don't look as primary scorers because they know which guys are. So they need to continue this. Right now, they just signed Derek Williams, which shows that they're still working on that, just picking up more and more role players to hopefully, especially in the Derek Williams case, to limit LeBron's minutes so he doesn't have to play as long. And to continue to possibly elevate them to a championship status. In the future, Richard Jefferson's going to be too old to play. So you got to look at more players that can fit in that position. So let's say they get Rondo to fit that point guard position. He should be fine for the next couple of years just coming off the bench. I could expect him to play for the next 3-4 years in Cleveland if he's coming off the bench, if he stays content. You never know because he is Rajon Rondo. But another position they might have to fill is the backup center position. Good guy for that would be Tyson Chandler. He grabs a ton of rebounds. He does exactly what they would need. He just comes off the bench, grabs a ton of boards, and goes back out. Plays inside. That's all. And then at that small forward position, you need another cheap just scorer like Richard Jefferson. And I think a guy like Luol Deng would fit perfectly into that spot. When you're looking at the Cavs, they just need to get guys that want their rings. And I'm pretty sure Tyson Chandler, Rajon Rondo, and Luol Deng would all love to get some championships. And a lot of guys will be like that. They'll just come to Cleveland to get a ring. I think that works perfectly for them, and that helps the Cavaliers because they don't destroy their roster. They get cheap, good players, and they can stay on top. They're going to have to fend, though, in the East. Because in the future, if some of these Eastern Conference teams start actually doing the right things, such as Philadelphia and Milwaukee, that I've gone through already, Cleveland's going to have a lot tougher competition in the Eastern Conference than they have in the past. Boston as well, if they get Jimmy Butler, that's going to be hard for them to beat. Going into the West might not be the only way that they're competing anymore. They might be competing with good teams in the Eastern Conference. Makes it a little harder for LeBron. However, he's LeBron James. So we saw what he did last year in the finals. I'm not sure how long he can continue doing that for the rest of his career. Right now he's 32. He'll be 35 in 3 years. We'll see. He should be on the top because he's LeBron James, but we don't know. But like I said already, the biggest thing they do is they can't mess this up. You keep the same lineup and you hope that nobody gets hurt. You rest everybody. You play more of a San Antonio style of resting players because you have to be able to make your players last, especially since they're looking to get a championship every single year. And with LeBron's extensive miles he's put on his body, Kevin Love's breaking down of his body, these guys aren't going to last forever. Kyrie Irving's pretty injury prone. They have to be careful, but they can do it if nobody gets hurt, if they don't mess anything up. David Griffin and the organization especially. This team should be able to compete for a championship for every year for the next 3-4 years. And that's really the goal here, is they want to win as many rings as possible. Not sure if they can win every year. There's too many good teams out of the West to confirm that. But you got LeBron James, so anything is possible. So, I want to add again, if you want to have any discussion on this, feel free to leave any feedback in the comments section. I would love to do any rebuttal videos on this if you have any feedback which you want to see me talk about. I can do a My League video or My League series following this if you want to see that. Not sure if the Cavaliers are the greatest fit for that series that I'm saying I've been doing for the rest of the videos, but it might. You never know. It might be an entertaining series. But once again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and peace out.